This was our board for 2021. So Kat Campion has been so solid. Sebastian, I'm so happy that you came on as VP. Chris is our secretary, Hannah is our treasurer. Again, an amazing person who stepped up in the time of need. Carrie, Amanda, Sandy, Linda, all did amazing jobs with helping, put events up, and Brianna as well. She's just a warrior on her own. So again, having everybody's input and participation for 2021 has been outstanding. And to continue, so that kind of introduces my message. It was quick and brief, but I guess we get into the next portion of our agenda in regards to board voting. So
yeah, so if anyone, let's drop this in the chat again for people that came later. So if anyone has not yet voted, please do so now, because we're going to announce those winners. Nobody's running uncontested, so everyone will be moving on. We need to just wrap up the vote. And yeah, I guess if people just want to take a few minutes to vote, and then we'll have Melodie Bahan, the Minnesota Film and TV Executive Director, is going to give us sort of a state of the industry in Minnesota and update us on some of the big changes and exciting things that have happened over the past year, and maybe some stories of things that she's seen already coming down the pike. So I think people can multitask if people are still voting. Melodie, if you want to tell us what you know.
Okay. I've got large dogs. They might interrupt me. I apologize. I'm gonna mute myself.
Okay.
Okay. Hi, everyone. So just a few updates and a couple requests, actually. First of all, as I think you all know, we passed a tax credit at the legislature last year, the first time that Minnesota has had a tax credit incentive. And if anybody's interested in a deep dive in different types and how they work, I'm happy to do that at any time. It's complicated, but if you geek out on that kind of stuff, it's really interesting. So right now, Minnesota is one of the only 2 or 3 states that have both a rebate incentive program and a tax credit incentive program. The 2 different types of programs are really geared to different budget level of project. And my goal is that we keep both of these programs. The rebate program, which was used to be called Snowbait, has since 2017, the legislature has funded it at only $500,000 per fiscal year. And you all know how quickly $500,000 goes in this industry. I don't see realistically that number ever going back to levels that it once was at its highest. At its highest, it was only 5 million per year, but still, I don't think the rebate's going up. So our hope is we keep the rebate for the smaller, the really low budget indie features, for some television projects, for web series, for commercials, and for post-production. And then on top of that, we now have a tax credit, which is for larger budget projects. The program that the legislature passed is, of course, nowhere near what I wanted, but it's a starting point. So our plan is to get a few successful projects under our belt with that program, and then go back to the legislature in 2023 and try and get them to extend the program beyond what they passed, which is just 4 years, and also increase the amount of tax credits that are available per year. Because the program right now is probably the smallest tax credit program in the country. It is, as I said, it's a 4-year law, so it sunsets in 4 years. And it has $5 million in credits available per year. So again, that's not a lot, but it is enough to support a few features. And, you know, because of the short term of this law, that it only lasts for 4 years, I don't have huge hopes of being able to attract a series at this point, but we're certainly going to try. In order to get a series, we need a tax credit law that doesn't sunset for at least 10 years. So that's where we started. That's what we're going to try and get the legislature to do, but we'll see. So the law was passed last year, and it was officially enacted July 1, which is the start of the fiscal year. But of course, we had to build it. So it went online, I think, in September. This may be getting too deep in the weeds, but because of a language issue in the statute that we did not notice until it was passed and we started to build the guidelines, we were as certain that we weren't going to get any applications for 2021. And we were right, we did not. But the good news is the $5 million in credits for 21 roll over. So we now have $10 million in tax credits available for 2022. And that's fantastic. And then there'll be 5 million more for the next 3 years after that. So we have just this last week, we have approved, the state has approved our first tax credit project, which is so exciting. It is a low budget feature, low budget meaning like around 2 million. So an indie feature. It is called Downtown Owl, and it's being produced by a production company called Kill Claudio Productions, which is Lily Rabe and Bettina Barrow's production company. Lily will be starring in it, along with some other very exciting, well-known names, including, we just found out last week, Academy Award nominated actor who is one of my idols. I'm so excited about him, but they haven't announced it yet. So they will be in town. They'll be on the ground the end of this month to start pre-pro, and they will start shooting in March. The script is fantastic, and there are a lot of local casting needs for this project. I believe they're working with Lynn Blumenthal on casting. The producers were in town for location scouting a few weeks ago, and they did meet with a number of folks, crew people and casting folks and that kind of thing. So we're just really excited that it will be shooting somewhere within the 7-county metro. It's set in a very small town in North Dakota. Yes, it's a Chuck Klosterman novel. That's it. Yes. And so, yeah. So that is our first tax credit project. We are, of course, talking to a lot of folks about a lot of projects, but nothing has bubbled up yet. As soon as we get something in and approved and we're allowed to go public with it, we'll let everyone know. So that is kind of what's happening on the tax credit front. And then on the rebate front, we do still have funds available for the rebate program. And everyone should remember that the minimum spend on the rebate program is only $100,000. So if you're working on a web series, Allison, that you think you might hit that spend goal, know that we did change the guidelines a couple of years ago so that web series are now eligible for the rebate. In addition to the rebate, the statewide rebate and the tax credit, there are a couple of regional rebates up north in the Iron Range and St. Louis County that have funds available as well. We do have a couple of small rebate projects that are going to start shooting within the next month or two up in the Northland, up in the Duluth Iron Range area. One is a web series. No, is it a web series? Maybe it's a series. I know that. And the other is a small low budget feature. So I'll stop there on all of that stuff. Should we do questions on each subject, or should I go on to the next topic?
That might be a good idea, because I actually already have a couple questions on that topic. So yeah, I'll ask a couple questions and then we'll move on to the next thing. I'm curious, has that production that's the first one to be taking advantage of the new credit, have they expressed that that was a deciding factor for them? Was this?
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was totally. It happened. It came about because, like, as you all know, like a lot of scripts and projects, this had been bouncing around for a few years. And the producer called our office a few years ago to ask about our incentive program. And when we laid it all out, like most other producers, they said, "Oh, thank you very much, goodbye," and moved on. And it never got made, whatever. So as soon as the tax credit passed, I started going through my call logs and calling everyone who had called our office over the years, and learned how low our incentive was and passed. And if they hadn't done their project yet, I called them and said, "Hey, guess what? We've got a tax credit." So I called Bettina, and they were just at the point. I mean, it was like perfect timing. They were ready to start.
This is why you are our executive director, like to go back and reach out to everyone from years past, like, thank you for your service. On that note, then you mentioned the 10 million, we sort of have a double budget to offer this year. If that 10 million goes away, like it's all used, is there a chance of the next 3 years it being up? If it's like, look, we got all this extra production here, we need 10 million. Is there a chance in that window that it will be raised and we don't have to wait another 3 years?
Yes, that's the goal. That's the legislative agenda that we're kind of laying out, is for us to go back in the 2023 session, which is next year. That's a budget session where they do most of the work, and get the credit expanded at that point, with hopefully proof from these other projects that the program works the way we said it would work and brings the benefits and the jobs that we said it would bring.
Cool. Okay, Kelly has a question. Why don't you unmute?
Yeah, Melodie, just to add to what you said, those 2 film projects that are going to be up north, because I know people that are working on both of those. The one is going to be shooting before the end of this month. So that's going into production right away. Then the other one, I believe, is in end of March, early April. And in addition to those, which did come because of all the stackable rebates, in addition to those, there was another person, the one that you were mentioning about the series. that is a combined effort of circumstances why he came to Minnesota. It was the rebates, it was Catalyst, and it was because he got so much support from everyone here that it was just kind of a no-brainer for him to come back. He actually lives in Vermont, and he came back here to do his series because he just felt like there was so much great talent here for him to, you know, tap into. The support services, just the community support, and then stackable rebates. It was just a whole package deal.
Yeah.
So
And
Zach came back.
that one is Canusa.
Canusa Street, yeah.
Canusa Street. Really great script. And the feature is called Cash for Gold.
That's the one this month, yeah.
Yeah. And they did a short a few years ago that you may be able to find somewhere. It's really
That's
well
on
done.
Vimeo.
Yeah. So Cash for Gold is what that's called. So yeah, other production incentive related.
I think that's all the hands we've got. So why don't you move on to your next topic and we'll let people ask questions on that as well.
Okay, so we are, this is something that I've wanted to do for years now, and getting the tax credit passed was sort of the push that we needed to make the investment. We are launching a new website at the end of this month, which I am so happy about. So I have a number of things to tell you about that, and some things to ask you for on that. First of all, this is this is a weird one, but I need, if anybody has and is willing to share, I need a like 5 to 7 second video clip of something that looks very behind the scenes, you know, like the making of sort of something that was shot here. The landing page, the home page of our new site has a video loop. And so I want it to be, I've got some beautiful sort of scenic footage, but I also want to include, you know, something with people in it and something that looks like people making movies or TV shows. So if anybody has any clips that fit that description and would be willing to share, I would be so grateful and thankful.
You're specifically looking for clips, not stills?
Not stills. Yeah, I've got lots of stills, but I need just a little bit of video. Carrie?
Are you looking for a number of sources for that? Like, so that it won't, not just one? Is that?
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I'd love to have several, because right now what I've put together is I can make it work, but it's not great. It needs less scenery and more action.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I have a job next week and I can see if we can get some.
Great.
And Ayana dropped in the chat, could you use something the AICP shot 8 years ago?
Sure.
Yeah, they shot this for their annual show. They did this huge long shot on a steady cam, and it was all just behind the scenes stuff for the intro. And so yeah, Michael Tabor produced it.
Oh, okay.
Who is a MN WIFT member, and I was on that as well, and it was down at St. Anthony, Maine, so it kind of showcases some of down, you know, like kind of landmark places. So it was a pretty sweet shot though. I mean, it was like, you know, what was it, like 500 feet of dolly or something ridiculous? I don't know.
Yeah, it was everything from talent crew trailers all the way to the film scene they'd set up, which was like a car that was, you know, smoke coming out of it, cops around, stuff like that. But it was like a long thing right on the road at St. Anthony, Maine.
I think I've seen portions of that, but
Mhm.
should I contact Mike Tabor?
I'm happy to if you'd like me to. Of
I would
course.
love that. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I can do that. Sure.
Thank you so
Oh,
much.
sorry, you can see I've got one of the dogs.
Hey, Pooper.
Does anyone here know if Andy Hunt is a member of your organization? Do you guys know who Andy Hunt is?
I know who Andy Hunt is, but I don't know that he's a member of our organization. I don't think he is.
He's a good one to ask to become a member, though.
Yeah. I mean, he owes me about 1 million favors. So, and he has shot some really fabulous things that have won some local awards. So I'm happy to reach out to him and see if he could provide something. I bet he could.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you all. I knew I could count on all of you to have some resources or ideas. So now a few other things that will be changing. Well, the biggest thing that's going to change with the new website is that the jank ass production directory that lives on our website now is going away. And we are going to be using Real Scout, which is the platform that basically every other film commission in the country uses. So what that means is if you have a listing on our current production directory, you'll be getting an email from me in the next few days, giving you instructions on how to do that. And then we'll just do a big blast to basically everybody, telling them to get a listing. I actually, if anybody is interested in doing it now, or, copy, I'm going to put in the chat. Hold on, I can't multitask at all. So I just put in the chat link. So if you want to go ahead and create your listing in the new Real Scout directory, we've got that set up where you can do it. The first link is to create a new listing. The second link is if you have a listing already, or if you create one and you want to go back and edit it. If you have a listing in the upper Midwest Film Office database, it will automatically appear in ours moving forward. So you don't need to create a new one. But if you don't have one, you can go in and create one. So it's just going to be, it's going to be a whole lot easier for everyone to use. It is, yes, we'll put it out on Facebook. We'll put it out everywhere. Because it is kind of the industry standard, it will be helpful for those folks from outside the state who are looking to see what's available in Minnesota, because the first place a lot of them go is our website, which has been embarrassing, but now will be so much better. So you can either take those links and go do that anytime, or look for an email if you have a listing from me, or just a big old blast on social media and via MailChimp telling you to get your listing.
So to clarify, those of us who are already in the production guide, we're going to get an email, but will it will it pre-populate our new one, or we just start from scratch so we could just do it whenever? Yeah,
we looked at trying to kind of import from the old directory, and the Real Scout folks said that it would be such a mess that people would basically have to start over anyway. So yeah. But if you do have a listing in the Upper Midwest Film Office's database, that is the same one that we'll be using. So you don't need to create a new one if you've already got one up there. All of their listings will automatically appear in our new database. So it's Real Scout, REEL Scout.
Okay.
The other things that we will be able to do on the new website is we'll have a much cleaner way to list upcoming events. So I would want to make sure that we get all of MNWIFT's events onto the calendar as they're set, make sure you send us links and all of that. What was the other thing I wanted to? Sorry, I'm pulling up the site now just to look. Oh, the other thing is, as I was going through, if you've ever built a website, you know that the few weeks before you launch is just this mind-numbing kind of content entry. So that's what I've been doing. And as part of that, one of the things I had to do was rebuild the Minnesota filmography, all of the feature films, all of the TV shows that have been produced, shot in Minnesota. And it was actually really cool to do that because I got to take a deep dive into Minnesota history, and I was just blown away by some of the work that has been done here over the years. And I did notice as I was doing that, there were some projects that I was familiar with that were not listed, so I added them. If you have produced a feature film or a television series, pilot, or web series in the last few years that was not listed on our old website, just send me an email and I'll make sure that it gets listed. So there's that. I think that is it. I can certainly, I'm happy to share the site with you, walk you through it, show you what it looks like, or I can take any questions.
Yeah, I think we're just good to go to a final round of questions before Allison introduces our new board. Any final questions for Melodie?
You've done a great job.
Thank you. Oh, I have one other request. Sorry, Carrie, you were about to say something, weren't you?
I was just about to say thank you so much. It's cool to hear about the new website and the new directory, and of course I knew about the tax incentive and credit, but it's just nice to hear about all that stuff. So thank you for all your work.
Yeah. So the other request I have that I might as well ask, because I was going to send Allison an email about it, is that we do these monthly webinars the first Friday of each month at noon, and for the March first Friday, I was wondering if MNWIFT would want to come on and you talk about what you've got coming for the year, different programming, stuff like that. So y'all can decide and let me know, but yeah, we'd love to have you join us and tell people who you are and maybe drum up some more members.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for your presentation and all the work you do for the Minnesota industry. We really appreciate. Now we get to hear the new board of directors of MNWIFT.
All right. And I'll actually let's see, Chris, are there any surprises that we need to talk through, or is it?
No surprises. The polls are closed in California, so we're good to go. So let me just paint the large picture here. So just to recap what was on the ballot. So 3 board members are still serving out their term, and they'll be up for election next year. So that's Allison, Hannah Walker, and myself. We have 3 other board members who are returning, and that's Amanda Day, Carrie Bush, and Linda Whalen. All three were elected solidly back into the board. So congratulations, Amanda, Carrie Bush, and Linda Whalen, and thank you for your service. Now, we have 3 new nominees and 1 write-in. Carol McCormick, Ayana Ruggiero, and Ariel Donahue. Ariel wasn't able to make it tonight. Carol, Ayana, and Ariel were all voted in as well as board members. So welcome to the board, Ayana. Welcome to the board, Carol, and welcome, Ariel, wherever you are. We also had 1 write-in, and there was a point of order about how to handle that. The good news is that the board has access or available to it an amendment which allows us to vote someone onto the board without them necessarily having been a member for a year, even though this person I think has been a member for several years. So it is up to us if we want to bring this write-in on. Technically, a write-in needs to have a majority of the votes, but we also have an option to consider this person. And frankly, had I known they were interested earlier, I would have had them on the ballot. But here we are. So welcome the 3 new members, and the write-in person, you know who you are, and we will reach out to you in the next couple of weeks. So thank you, everyone, and well done.
Congratulations and welcome to the board.
Welcome.
Mm-hmm.
And now Allison is going to be delivering the 2021 membership initiatives recap, followed by the 2022 membership initiatives.
Yes. So 2021, again, part 2 of the pandemic, but regardless, we persisted and did well. We had 11 total events, at least collaborated with over 5 different organizations, both nonprofit and for-profit. Of all the events that we hosted, roughly over 200 people attended throughout the year. Our membership has grown also by 22 since our last annual election. So I think we're up to like 73 total members represented across 6 different states. So that's Minnesota, Wisconsin, Delaware, Illinois, Washington, DC, and Vancouver. And then also have 3 different regions represented. So I love that there's this growth. I love that there's the interest. I know that sometimes, when we go from the day to day, we may not see it or feel it, but know that we are impacting and helping people, and people are really feeling that and appreciating that work. So here's a overview of all the things that we kind of did last year, from horror talk conversations, which pulled in people from all over the nation to come listen into that. Catalyst, which was a great addition for the year, where we had not only a table that helped introduce folks to who Midwift was, but we also had a social hour that so many people attended, and again, I just loved how organized it was, and that everybody was very vaccine conscious about that. We constantly and always talk about how we can grow our industry. So I appreciate the ongoing conversations, and appreciate Melodie reaching out to us to collaborate with them for that summer hangout, which is like the first in a very, very long time. So again, a lot of great events that we had, and just appreciate again the board for being able to put something so amazing together. So talking about 2022 and what we have planned. Again, going in, I presented this last year, and it's the same thing this year. Going in, we will try to think of what are some ways that we can make sure that we're continuing to be true to our mission. How are we making sure that our members are being connected? Are there ways that we can figure out how to continue to fundraise for our board? Because we are 100% a volunteer board. We do not make any money off of what we do. So, but there's still, outside of operational things that we want to make sure that we are doing so we can provide value to our members. What are some ways that we can continue to think about diversity and inclusion in this ever-changing world? And then again, very important to me was just making sure that for all the initiatives that came up, that the board did feel like they were supported. So I really do hope that they felt that this past year. So talking about the things that we have going on, we really tried to kind of hone it in to make sure that we were pointed in programs that would not only impact us for the year, but that could be for the longevity of it. So one of the ones that I'm going to talk about here is the mentorship program. So we just kicked off applications earlier this year, and not surprisingly, we have a bunch of mentees who have signed on. So it'd be great to be able to find more mentors, and again, this is all within our network, and this is specific to members only. The goal behind that, again, I think covers that engagement portion of our mission, where we can make sure that as members, we know, who else is in our network. If there's anything that as a mentor, we can help provide that voice to the next generation of people who are coming up, or even learn from those. It'll be great to be able to get a lot of that intersectionality going and conversations happening. So applications will be closing soon, but I plan to reach out to a few more folks just to make sure that we can get more engagement from the mentor side. But it's a 4-month program, members only, and the goal is just to, every couple of months, is not super rigid, but every couple of months, just meet in with the mentor, help, and mentor-mentee meetings, and make sure that they can, they have plans for growth and how they can get from point A to point B. Because last point I'm going to make is, from talking to a lot of people, there's just that gap in the middle between, those who had worked way back when on all these amazing productions, and then all the new ones that are coming, but then there's that loss of knowledge somewhere in the middle in between. So it'll be great to be able to bridge that gap between the two through this mentorship program. So I'm hoping that's something that, once we go through the cycle, we can figure out ways that we can improve it, and then you just have that be a well-oiled program that we can continue to offer to our members. And then I'll hand it off to Carrie and Hannah to talk about the organization partnership.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So, one of the things that as a board we talked about what we wanted to accomplish as a board. And, the mentorship, like Allison talked about, was a big part of it. Figuring out how we can promote inclusion and diversity within the industry was another big part of it. And there's other parts as well that will be discussed a little later. Within our organization, we also really wanted to partner with other organizations in our town, our small town here. And so one of the things that we just did in partnership with AICP and IATSE and the Upper Midwest Film Board and the Minnesota Film Board and Film North was a PA 101 workshop that we had a couple of weeks ago, maybe was it a week ago? And it was great. There were 47 people that attended from all over the state, which was one of our goals. And then also there were people from California and Texas and North Carolina, I believe. And so we built a curriculum to help kind of this entry level position as a PA. We're at a place where we really need to grow our industry, and it's important that we grow it, with a lens looking at trying to diversify our industry, and also in location wise, including people up north where a lot of these film incentives are even and tax credits are even stronger. So yeah, it was a success, and we're going to do another one upcoming. We'll probably do another PA 101, but then there's also interest in doing like a grip and electric 101 and a camera 101. So there are more to come. Take it away, Hannah.
Thanks, Carrie. Yeah, I don't know how much I have to add here, just other than to reiterate some of the things that you were saying. But, one of the things that the board has been talking a lot about in the last few months is, how can we become a more effective organization? How can we best support the community here? And how can we continue to grow our community? And the thing that we kept coming back to is that we can do that through partnerships. We're a smaller market here, we're a small organization, and there really is sort of strength in numbers, strength in resources. And we as an organization can reach far more people through partnerships. And so we've reached out to a lot of other wonderful organizations in town, like Film North, who are interested in helping us and supporting us, and hopefully we can help support them as well. We don't have a ton of specifics to share just yet, other than there are a lot of conversations that are happening. There's a lot of interest, again, from many organizations, and we're in the process of figuring out lots of different events and workshops that we hope to hold this coming year. So we're excited about those.
Fantastic. And then Linda is going to talk about the evening with the director.
Yes. So my friend Laura Belzy, who is out of New York, is excited to come and spend some time with us and talk to us and answer questions about her journey as a director. Laura started out, well, I know she was an actor. She started as an actor and then went into directing commercials. That's when I met Laura. I was her rep. I was a Midwest commercial rep, and she had Shadow Pictures out of New York. And she came in, I remember, to be on a panel for General Mills, Women in Film, several years ago. And she really enjoyed that and stayed with me. And so I thought, wouldn't it be fun to have her come and talk about what she's done since then? Well, after that, she went on to produce a few short films, and since then has transitioned into a television series director. And her list is so long, I don't even know. American Horror Story, Fantasy Island, The Equalizer, Manifest, 6 episodes of The Walking Dead, and it goes on and on and on. The Preacher. She's directed Criminal Minds and NCIS and Law and Order. And right now she is in Budapest directing Shadow and Bone for Netflix. So I think it would be super fun to have her join our group and be available to she's just the nicest down-to-earth person, talk about her journey. And we're hoping also that we can get a few other individuals to talk that evening as well, from a variety of specialties, maybe a writer. We're still gathering the people that might be interested, and we're hoping it's going to be, we're shooting for June. We want it to be sometime when the weather's nice, and it all depends, right now on Laura's schedule.
Thank you.
Excited about that.
All right. And then Kat and Sandy are going to cover the festival partnerships. But Kat, if you want to talk about Catalyst. You're muted.
Realized that as soon as I started talking. I imagine everyone on the line is pretty well versed in Catalyst, but for the recording, in case anyone else is tuning in later, I did put the link in the chat. It's catalyststories.org. There's the Catalyst Content Festival, which is an industry marketplace for independently produced episodic and narrative programming, from TV series to podcasting. And now there's going to be animation and gaming, short films, anything that's basically not a feature film. And then the Catalyst Story Institute is the year-round educational and professional development institute that empowers creators to bring their narrative stories to fruition. I think the easiest way to kind of summarize for people that aren't familiar with Catalyst, very much like the Sundance Institute and the Sundance Festival, there's the festival that's just the distribution aspect and the festival, and then year-round this training. So Catalyst in Duluth, Minnesota is happening September 28th to October 1st this year. I thought it was going to be longer than that this year, but that's the current.
They have a 10.
Timeline. So MNWIFT has partnered, in this past year, we had a booth representing there, and we also threw a little party. And was there any other, did we do a panel or?
We had some of our members, comedians, they had a couple sets.
Oh, yeah. And then, and several people here and involved with MNWIFT are involved with Catalyst, and Kelly, who's also on the line, and I help produce the table reads each year at the festival. So that is another partnership that we're going to be having this year, is being present up at the festival again, and probably throwing another gathering and being involved with some of the panels and educational events.
Fantastic.
So
And
if you guys
Sandy.
wanna cover the other festivals.
Did you say Sandy?
Yes,
Yeah,
Sandy.
Sandy.
Okay. So I've been kind of working on pulling some of the ideas together that we've talked about regarding partnerships and education. And so in continuing our goal to educate and empower and support and inspire, we're doing a inspiring filmmaker series. And Zfest Film Festival is kind of the backdrop to that, that's inspiring us to create a slate of events and learning activities. If you don't know what Zfest Film Festival is, it's an annual film festival competition, and they guarantee everyone their film on the big screen, and the films are all 8 minutes or less. Filmmakers that are complete novices to very, very experienced filmmakers participate. And one of the reasons I wanted us to participate with and partner with them is to kind of support more women filmmakers to getting in that competition. And they may be having some discounts for us. They may be working with us on a fundraiser. So you'll be seeing more about that. And then another partnership that is helping us inspire filmmakers is the Twin Cities Film Festival, Bill Cooper, the Twin Cities Actors Expo, and then they also have a Her series and let me see, I wrote it down here. Empower series, again, supporting people that aren't necessarily represented or working in the film industry. And they're offering free submissions to all MN WIFT film members for the Twin Cities Film Festival up through their regular submission. So as a filmmaker myself, I know how important it is to get places that will allow you to submit for free. It all adds up. And then it's going to be a back and forth. We're supporting their events and they're supporting our events, and we're coming together to bring inspiring filmmakers to us. Then another thing we did last year that we're going to do this year is work with Docu Club Minnesota. Chris Newberry is on the line. I don't know if you want to take your, say hello, and so everyone can put a face to a name, but Docu Club, I believe, started with Melodie Gilbert, one of our founding members, and they monthly have screenings, oftentimes works in progress. And last year we partnered with them, and a number of MN WIFT members screened their finished products and their works in progress. We're going to do that again this coming year, and maybe even do a little bit of an education on top of a screening. And that brings us to Film North. At our Docu Club partnership last year, 2 of the Film North instructors and some of the students were actually participating. So from what Hannah and Kat were saying, Film North will definitely be supporting this inspiring filmmaker series. They have the classes, and their instructors are not only helpful in the classes, they're helpful outside of the classes. And then finally, I think there was one more. Who am I missing? Zfest, Twin Cities Film Fest, Docu Club, and Film North. So keep your eye out on our Facebook page, because we're going to be announcing events and how to get involved, where members can have free experiences or discount experiences, where non-members can join in. And it will culminate, this Inspiring Filmmakers series will culminate at the 2023 Zfest Film Festival, where we hope to be celebrating a number of MN WIFT filmmakers. That is also kind of a jumping off point. I know as a Zfest filmmaker myself, it allowed me to screen nationally, internationally. The awards you win at Zfest help you get your foot in the door elsewhere, and they open you up to regional festivals. The South Dakota Film Festival is a huge supporter of Minnesota. So I'm just excited about all the things we are putting into place and how they support each other and create legs and roots in the community. And as Hannah said, we all are really interested in partnerships and not reinventing the wheel, and supporting this community and doing something creative that they love, whether it's writing or producing or directing or editing or being a PA and making money or not making money and still creating something beautiful. So I'm excited to help. I'm stepping down on the board because there's other things going on in my life, but I am excited to help organize this inspiring filmmaker series and continue working with you on the side.
Thank you, Sandy. And Linda's going to round it out with the legacy memberships.
Well, it's funny that Sandy said that she was going to step down because you might want to step down, but you can't get away. And you know why? Because we've come up with a new program that we're very, very excited about. Anybody who served on the board of directors for MN WIFT is going to get a lifetime membership to our organization. We realize that, first of all, to say thank you and to say how much we appreciate the volunteer time that you've committed to being a board member. We also know that we don't want to lose touch with you because of your experience and knowledge with the organization. And you're going to go on to have bigger and, you know, better and amazing experiences. And we want those experiences brought back to our organization where you can share them. And we're providing a chat, a feature inside our community or environment where you can get together with other legacy members and talk about, chat about things. You can become a mentor. You can have the same, enjoy the same discounts that any other member would enjoy for a lifetime for any of our events. And we're hoping that you'll just keep excited about our organization and never go too far away.
All right, thank you. So that leaves us open.
Can I just introduce Chris? He came out
absolutely.
to say hello. So
Absolutely.
Chris Newberry is the director of Minnesota Docu Club, and he, Melodie, if you're still on, he has brought filmmakers in from around the state that have participated in some of these programs. So Chris, can you, and he's a member also. So can you say hello?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Good, yeah, thanks, Sandy. I am a new member. Thank you very much, Sandy, for encouraging me to join up. And we did have a fun partnership last year when we did that one Docu Club MN WIFT event. And it would be really great. Looking forward to collaborating on some additional stuff. If anyone who's not aware of Docu Club, we're a lot of documentary filmmakers, but we are not exclusively documentary filmmakers. Anybody who's interested in documentary films is welcome to join. We're not a membership organization. We're just kind of a loose-knit coalition of people. And we have a meeting, a virtual meeting via Zoom coming up this month, February 18th. So I'll put my email in the chat if anyone wants to get on our list to learn more about it. But it's fun to be here, and thank you.
So Docu Club right now is virtual on Zoom. So Chris will send you the link. They don't post it publicly, and they are hoping to be able to go back to Film North, either in person or a hybrid event. And so thank you for saying hello, Chris.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, and thanks for joining. All right, and so that leaves it open to any questions about anything that we've kind of walked through or presented today.
I've got a question. All this information that I have got, 4 pages now of notes, things I have to look up and investigate and learn about, because COVID just knocked me out of the industry for the last, 2.5 years. So I'm playing catch up here really a lot. But one thing I talked with about Allison, she was excited about the mentorship program, the 4-month opportunity. And I thought that was a good fit for me because that's really what I've been doing for my whole career, is advising and helping and directing, and not directing like film directing, but guiding new actors into this crazy world of filmmaking and commercials and anyway, so I think I'm a good fit there. So my question is, since this is a new thing that you guys are trying, there's probably going to be some kinks and things to work out, but do you I just wanted you to take note of my interest, and that if you wanted to direct somebody to me through my email, I would be happy to
Well,
consult.
Carol, we
talk,
actually
and-
have a form that'll make it really
Yeah.
easy for you. I'm trying to find it right now, but maybe Allison, if you have a link
I
to that
can,
form,
I got
just
access
ask
to
you-
it.
yeah, it'll just ask you a few questions about like, what do you, how many people do you
Okay.
want to mentor? What areas do you want to mentor in?
Okay.
That sort of thing. So we'll make it
Okay.
real easy for you. Thank you so much.
Okay, good. Well, I think that's where I might be the most useful.
Wonderful.
That's fantastic. And yeah, and by collecting that information, it just allows us to make sure that we're matching the right people to the right interests.
Mhm.
It does ask, and I can actually share since, you know, we're all on here. We'll just take a quick look. But share. And don't mind the craziness of my tabs. This is my other computer. There's a lot less on here. But it does just ask general questions in regards to, you know, what mentorship looks like to you. So depending on the answers that we get from a mentor versus mentee, if it kind of sounds the same, then, you know, we make sure we can match them, you know, closer together.
Mhm.
You know, which role you're interested in, mentor versus mentee. You know, how would your involvement help excel or help your role or help a project and things like that. And noting, again, this is not a means for, you know, a job opportunity or an internship. It really is just to make sure that, you know, people who are looking for that guidance and just want somebody who has been there before or just have someone to just bounce ideas off of, that they at least have that relationship built. And also sidetracking, I'm sorry. But then recently, the Women in Film organization, they sent out a report just based off of the disparity between women, like how many women in the industry are able to receive funding versus men. And at the same time, how many based off of like their knowledge and expertise see that value versus men. And just knowing that and looking through that report and seeing that, you know, women are just as connected, just as confident, but for some reason there's just that huge gap, made me think, okay, definitely knowing that a lot of those deals, in a sense, get made in a room where people are talking and meeting, you know, as they do. It gives, having something like this where we're able to connect with each other, have, you know, less hopefully stressful networking means of connecting with people, would get more women in the room where they need to be in. So sidetrack over. But we get information in regards to, you know, your comfort level, whether you want to be, you know, video chat in person or a mix of it. That way we know if somebody had said, I prefer to do video chat, we can link the two of you together. How many years you've been in the industry just kind of helps us get an understanding of your background, you know, what you're currently, you know, working as, what industries you're, you know, you've represented or are interested in. This again is really important for us because, again, if it's somebody who, you know, Carol, for example, you know, you're in you know, casting, so that could be maybe another, I don't know that I had that on this list, but then someone else was also interested in that kind of thing. That makes it very easy for us to kind of pair both of you together. So I will add this to our chat here so that you can definitely, you know, submit your application. But yeah, excited to just, you know, get people talking to each other, you know.
Mhm. All right. Well, I have to attend to some family stuff, so I have to kind of check out. But I am very excited to be involved with you guys. You all look like a great bunch of women.
And men,
So-
we have men here too. All are
Yeah.
welcome.
So keep me in the loop as to when the next meeting is. There's
Yes.
not one this Thursday, is there?
So no, so for the new board, I think because we have our meetings every second Tuesday of the month, but
Okay.
what we were just talking about here, you know, Chris and I we'll probably just do a one-off just so that we can get you all onboarded and go through orientation, so that when we do have our next board meeting, it really is, you know, down to business, and you hopefully could feel, you know, better acquainted with what we have going on. So we'll look out for that email. It'll be coming soon. We'll set up something here in the next couple of weeks.
Well, on my to-do list is to contact Andy Hunt and get something amazing for the webpage.
Wonderful.
That's my goal.
Good idea.
Thank you, Carol,
Okay.
for your decades.
Thank you, Carol.
Thank you. So nice to see you.
All right, good to see you guys. See you again.
See you, Carol.
All right, and if anybody else had any final questions about anything, shares, any victories, any challenges, anything we can help you with?
I have a question
Okay.
for all of you. So Zfest Film Festival has this annual award from Louis Anderson where he, may he rest in peace. But he gives an award out with, I believe, either $300 or $500 to the person or the team, the director of the Zfest film that he liked the best. And I thought it would be awesome if MN WIFT could find some famous female in the industry with connections to Minnesota to do the same thing. And, you know, could they donate money? Could they just pick a film? Could we somehow find money to put to, because that extra $100, $200, $300, $500 for those filmmakers, because everyone volunteers, but you still have to pay for all the food, and there's so many things that add up. But if you guys could put your thinking caps on and maybe reach out to me with your connections or ideas of someone that may be one that could be this annual award. I mean, I know there's
the first people that come to mind to me are Mary Mack and Maria Bamford, because they're both just hilarious. And they're both still so tied to Minnesota. Like Mary and Mickey and I have been roommates on and off in LA and Minneapolis, and she bounces back a lot. Maria Bamford's pretty much based in LA now, but those are the first two women that come to mind.
I was just thinking of those same two women specifically, plus Miss Shannon.
Oh yeah, Miss Shannon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and Carol might be a great person to talk to as well, because when we were talking about being on the board, she mentioned, you know, a few connects that she has that she was thinking about getting them more involved and engaged in Minnesota. So I love that you bring that up.
All right.
Sandy, are you thinking specifically for comedy?
No.
Oh, because someone I think would be a great person to reach out to is Leah Thompson. And I could get to her through, or you could get to her through TCFF, actually talk to Bill Cooper. And she, I bet, would really love to, you know, support, you know, other female filmmakers, because she herself is a director in addition to, you know, being an actor.
To that end, what about Jessica Lange?
Yeah, I was thinking of the Jessicas. Jessica Lange and Jessica Biel have Minnesota, but I don't know. I mean, I know someone that knows someone that went to school with her, Jessica Lange, but do you know them, Ayana?
Well, I was just thinking that on the presentation that the gal Laura Belsley, didn't she direct a couple of the American Horror Story episodes with had Jessica Lange in it?
Do you want me to check with her?
That's what I was thinking.
I could.
No, I don't have the connection.
It might be kind of a roundabout way to get to her, but I'm happy to do. I'm happy. I mean, we email each other quite a bit. I can certainly reach out.
So the ask is, it would be a Minnesota Women in Film and TV Award at Zfest Film Festival, which gives opportunities to local filmmakers to make an 8-minute film, and they would be involved with choosing their favorite. And, you know,
hey, Sandy, Chris's hand has been up so patiently.
Sorry,
here.
Chris. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't need to change the subject. But on that subject, the person that jumped into my head was Liz Winstead. Do you know who that is?
No.
She was co-creator of The Daily Show way back when Greg Kinnear was the first host. Not Greg Kinnear. What's his name? Anyway, the original Daily Show. Anyway, but she's probably the kind of person who wouldn't be, I don't have a connection, but she's probably not the kind of person who would be super hard to get to. But she's a comedian, and she might be the kind of person to be interested in doing something like this. But anyway, what I was gonna, if I may change the subject, is that okay? Okay. I was just gonna ask, I know there's been some mentions of this along the way, but I'm curious to hear some kind of from the leadership where you all are at in terms of looking at coming months and thinking about doing in-person programming. And I'm asking because I'm in that situation myself with Docu Club, and just kind of wanted to see, take the temperature with you guys. What are you all thinking?
Yeah, and I can, give kind of my opinion, and anybody else can jump in, but I think we more or less have been, watching the environment, because I know there have been a few events that we thought we would want to do in person, that would make sense to do in person, but then some new variant pops up. And so, we had to think about, the capacity of the event. And then if we are doing an in-person, because we ended up doing one in December, which was kind of like a holiday get together, just had like a vaccination requirement. So it really is one of those touch and goes where, we have the thought and have the idea, and we try to plan around that. But at the same time, if it ends up not happening because of some variant, or because, there's just a spike, we try to maybe plan an alternative route. But anybody else on the board want to?
Something else that comes into our consideration are costs. When you have in-person events, you have food and then also accessibility, because we have found people all over the US wanting to participate in our events. And so we haven't talked a lot about this, but Bill Cooper and I talked about hybrid, like what kind of hybrid technology could we use that would be appropriate. So those were some of our other considerations.
Great, thanks.
Chris, I'm teaching a class at MCTC this semester, and I'm sending a student your way to Docu Club. He's interested in that documentary film, and he's a smart kid. So
awesome. Yeah, we love the young ones, the new blood. Send them our way.
Yeah, make him work on something with you.
Your once a month screening, I think we should really highlight that, because it is an awesome experience. Very experienced documentarians participate with their works in progress. They give each other feedback, and it's a huge learning experience, as well as a connection to the whole state and all populations. So I just really want to say, check out Docu Club on Facebook, because they're really doing incredible things for people just trying to get their voices heard.
Yeah, and a shout out to MN WIFT member Melodie Gilbert. I know you probably mentioned that earlier, but Docu Club wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here if it hadn't been for our founder. So
I have to go as well, you guys, but I'm excited about this year, and thank you all. This will be really fun. Thanks for joining.
Thanks, Carrie.
I'm excited to the new members.
Carrie.
Yeah, the new board.
The new board members right here, Kelly and Ayana, and no other new people do I see here. So you're not on the board, right, Chris? You're a member, right? Yeah. Okay.
It's going to be a good year.
It's gonna be great. I'm excited that you're a member, Chris, but Ayana and Kelly, I'm really excited that you're on the board. It's gonna be sweet.
Let's get
So,
it.
see you guys later.
Bye, Carrie.
Carrie, thank you
Bye.
so much.
Thank you.
We'll probably start to wrap things
Bye,
up.
Carrie.
Yeah.
Hey, Sandra,
Yeah,
when you find out when the voting or the judging is going to be for Zfest, for sure, I'm interested.
Yes, so the one thing I didn't mention today was that Zfest is open to having MN WIFT judges, as long as you have nothing to do with any of the films. It's a 2-week voting period. It starts after March 12th, and they have this very cool online tool to help you through the process. They give awards for all normal categories: best actor, best director, best actress, sound, lighting, and then they have unique categories: best villain, best kiss, best fight scene. And so if anyone is interested, just reach out to me and I'll get you in touch with the director, Adam Colt. But he's always looking for a diverse slate of judges, and their tool makes it easy. And if you go to their website, I'll get it and I'll put it in the chat. But it explains how they have an initial panel that goes through it. And, you know, so it is a really fun thing to judge. It inspires me and it gives me ideas just by watching how things are shot creatively. Sometimes one camera, how the sound, the credits. It's just a really fun thing to do if you have the time.
Awesome. Well, we made it through our agenda items. Now it's just, you know, social time, but I get it. Some folks might be hungry. Some, you know, I know some people like to go feed their babies. So
Yeah, with that, I think we're good adjourning and seeing you all next time.
yes.
You guys, I just want to say quickly, I kind of came into this sort of swiftly, and I knew I was going to be impressed, but I didn't realize how impressive this group was. So thank you very much. I'm very excited for that.
Happy to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
So
Good to see you again.
exciting to see you, and
I know.
congratulations. Like, you're the
So
perfect person to help this organization continue on a path of excitement.
I hope so. I hope so. I mean, you guys are a pretty intimidating group, so I'm
No.
Yay.
Bunch of film nerds here like yourself, so
Not even a film nerd here, so
just a nerd.
just a nerd.
All right, great.
All
Well, I
right.
appreciate you all. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for
Thanks,
everyone.
Thanks.
everyone.
Have
Have a
a good
great
month.
evening.
you.
Hey,
Good night.
Bye. Thank
Goodbye.
you.
Bye.
everybody.